If you're planning a trip to St. Martin and you're wondering if you should book an all-inclusive resort or you should book things on your own, whether you should rent a car or not, or how you can get the best value, then watch this video.
We went to St. Martin back in February to celebrate Michael's birthday, and we saved thousands of dollars by planning everything ourselves and not going to an all-inclusive.
In this video, we will break down exactly what we did, what we spent, and our top 5 must-do activities in St. Martin.
Make sure to watch all the way to the end because we're going to give you exact prices, tips, and things to avoid that we almost made mistakes on.
Grab a drink, grab your notepad, and get ready to take some notes. Also subscribe to this channel for more detailed travel guides coming up like this one. First, let's quickly cover why we decided against an all-inclusive. Initially, we looked up all-inclusives and they're ranging from $3,500 to over $7,000 Canadian each, and we decided that was way too expensive.
So we decided to book our flights directly to St. Martin, playing with the duration and the flexibility of dates. We ended up getting our flights for $600 Canadian each.
Then we booked our Airbnb, spending $1,715 Canadian total, which breaks down to about $858 each for 8 nights.
So with our accommodation and our flights per person, we spent $1,458 Canadian total. We then decided to rent a car from Starlite car rental, and we spent $769 Canadian total, which breaks down to about $385 Canadian per person.
Altogether, our flight, accommodation, and rental car totaled about $1,842 Canadian per person, which is far cheaper and much more flexible than an all-inclusive.
We decided to cook breakfast and we ate locally, which was such an authentic experience. We also found that the groceries were a bit cheaper on this island compared to other islands. Keep watching as next we're going to dive into the top 5 must-do activities. Number 5, stay in Cupecoy Village. Our Airbnb was perfect. It was located right next to the American University of the Caribbean, which felt very local, safe, and quiet.
Everything was in walking distance. They had restaurants, cafes, grocery stores, even a massage place where we hit up midweek.
Being a coffee lover, I absolutely loved that there was cafes nearby. In the morning, we're able to quickly go grab a coffee, even though we made coffee prior to. Lee always has to have at least 2 coffees.
Before 11 a.m.
Yeah, before 11 a.m. But honestly, every place we went to, I think the coffee was just incredible.
Yeah, it was very good, very good.
And the other thing was the grocery store was right behind us. So I tend to forget a lot of items, especially when we're on vacation. So it was really, really nice to just kind of quickly run downstairs, grab a quick, thing or two and come back up. Very convenient, I would say.
100%. Also, the location of the Airbnb was great. Like we said, Mullet Bay Beach was only an 8-minute walk away. That being said though, if you do have any accessibility issues, you gotta beware because the path down is very hilly and they don't have the best route to get to the beach. But it was a quick walk for us to get to the beach, and the other thing was that Maho Beach was only a 5 to 8 minute drive away, 5 minutes with no traffic, 8 minutes with a little bit of traffic.
And I gotta be honest, Michael did book the Airbnb, so when I found out that it was an 8-minute walk from the beach, I was so excited for this because it allows us to kind of walk to and from the beach if we want to, even drive. Like I think we drove one time there and it was like 3-minute drive, but it was great. We were able to go visit it in the afternoon, evening if we wanted to take a quick walk on the beach. And to be honest with you, Mullet Bay Beach was one of my favorite beaches, so it was super, 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 super great that it was so close.
100%. We didn't have a pool at our Airbnb, but we did have the ocean very close to us, so that was pretty awesome.
And nothing beats the ocean, I would say.
We did book our trip last minute, so just a quick tip, if you can book earlier, you will have access to more spots. The Airbnbs were limited, but we actually still found a great one at a great value.
Yes, we actually even booked one Airbnb for 1 night and then the next Airbnb for the duration of the 7 nights, just in order to be able to find a good location, but which was still fine and great because it was actually in the same building, just one floor apart.
Yeah, we lucked out there, so we didn't even have to move our stuff too crazy. We just had to bring it to the next floor.
And I really enjoyed the second Airbnb. It felt more cozy, more at home, and the hostess was way more responsive.
Number 4, spend a full day on the French side. Spending a full day on the French side exploring Saint Martin was definitely worth it, and we recommend taking the trip out.
We drove about 40 minutes to get to Orient Bay, which I loved. Orient Bay was huge. It wasn't too crowded because we arrived there around 9 a.m. and it was just breathtaking.
Parking was also very convenient. It was located right by the beach, and because we arrived early, there was plenty of spaces. The beach was also very packed with activities. There were some beach restaurants. There was also a bunch of people doing kite surfing, which was very cool to see. They had kite surfboards, if that's what you call them, all along the beach, and it was such a vibe.
I loved the fact that you could see the mountains in the distance, and I really liked that you could walk like a very, very, very long distance and you would never see the beach ending. It was just incredible.
Around noon, we drove about 17 minutes to get to Grand Casse Village, which is known for its restaurants and lively atmosphere. We decided to go to Rainbow Cafe for lunch and to hang out for the afternoon.
I absolutely love Rainbow Cafe. We also chose one of the most important points. We chose on this day to go to Rainbow Cafe because it was Valentine's Day.
Yes, it was Valentine's Day, so we decided to spend it in a special way. One thing about the Grand Casse Village, there was a parking lot located at the end where you could park for free and then just walk into the village.
And the village is just such a good vibe. Like, it's very small, but it feels so local. It feels romantic. It feels just breathtaking as well. Like, I would say, to be honest with you, going to this part of the village and going to the French side was a whole nother feeling compared to the Dutch side.
Yeah, 100%. It had its own little aura about it. And like we said, it is known for its food, so you could smell all the restaurants making delicious food as you walk to your destination. I felt like I could have stopped maybe 3 or 4 times to eat.
The food smelled so good. So good.
Next time I go back there, I gotta go to this barbecue spot. I don't know what it's called, but if you walk along, you'll see the barbecue right there, and you'll smell it right there, and I gotta try it out.
You'll hear the lady calling you as well.
She will tell you that there's a table waiting for you, so
yes.
you will not miss it.
And I don't think the prices were bad at all, especially at that place. They weren't bad.
Too bad. One thing to keep in mind though, you will be paying in euros.
Yes.
So we had to pay in euros for our food, so just factor that in.
Also factor in that you might need a different SIM card coming to this side of the island.
Yes, the one thing about Saint Martin is that they separate the SIMs on the French side and the Dutch side, so your SIM card on the Dutch side will not work on the French side, so you will have to either turn on your Roam Like Home or get another SIM to access that side. I decided just to turn on Roam Like Home because I already had a SIM card for the Dutch side.
And we wouldn't be able to get home if we didn't, so we needed the GPS.
100%. And also do not forget to turn that off when you get back to the Dutch side, because guess what happens when you cross over, it activates a new Roam Like Home.
Yeah.
So I learned that the hard way.
That's one of the mistakes to avoid.
Going back to the Rainbow Cafe experience, it was lovely. The vibes in there were really great. We actually walked in with no reservation and we were lucky enough to get a seat in a very busy place. After lunch, we decided to stay there, head down and chill on the beach, where we rented beach bags and an umbrella for 20 euros each and enjoyed. The beach was lovely. It was not as big as Orient Bay, but it was definitely still beautiful, and the fact that it had restaurants all along it was pretty cool.
Yeah, the beach was great. The sand was like much darker, but the water was so vibrant. Even sitting in the Rainbow Cafe and just looking out to the water was absolutely gorgeous. I loved it. It was probably one of the best views that I've seen ever. Also, I really liked the vibe of the cafe. There was a DJ playing music. The music was really, really good. Just the energy was great. Everyone was having such a great time. It was just an awesome vibe. Being able to walk down a few steps and go to rent the beach chairs was also such a good vibe. I loved it. I had an amazing time because it's a mix of restaurant, bar, and the beach. It was beautiful.
Another cool thing is they had these little tables in the water on the beachfront that we haven't seen before, so you're able to take your little drink with you and chill in the water and have a table right there. One thing to note on your little drive is that traffic is typically the worst around 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. So head out early, get to the beach before 9 a.m. Also on the way back, leave a little bit later around 6:30 so that you can dodge that traffic as well, and the Sunset Drive is beautiful.
I would say we missed all the traffic in St. Martin because we planned accordingly. But if you do get stuck in the traffic, you will spend hours, and that might just ruin your day, your time, or your vacation. So lucky enough, Starlite Rental really told us about this. They said when to avoid the roads, and we listened to them. And to be honest with you, that's why we had an amazing vacation.
Yes, shout out to Starlite for those tips.
Number 3, beach hop between the amazing, famous Maho Beach and the relaxing Mullet Bay Beach.
Maho Beach is a complete experience, from having the planes flying overhead to getting blasted by the planes taking off on the beach was an epic experience. I had so much fun just watching the planes come in, watching the planes take off, and it was such an experience to see all the plane spotters and all the people just standing trying to see if they could withstand the blast. It was actually entertaining and funny at the same time.
Maho Beach was on my bucket list because I've always seen it all over YouTube and TikTok. So I really wanted to experience Maho Beach. But to be honest with you, I was a little bit anxious and nervous to go because I wasn't sure, again, what the experience would be like. I wasn't sure if the planes were going to be huge or if we were going to see any planes. So we decided to go around, I think it was 11 o'clock?
Yeah.
11 a.m. roughly, because that's when we started to see, okay, there will be a lot more flights happening, and it was just a lot of traffic, but it was such a good time. It was a really good experience. It wasn't as nerve-wracking as I thought it would be because I stayed off to the side, so I got a little.
She wasn't down to be in the heat of the action.
So I got a little seat on the beach. I put my towel down and I kind of just watched Michael embrace, the jet blast, and I kind of lived through him. But it was such a good time because the airplanes were coming right over. I got some cool videos as well, and I got to experience that vibe.
Yeah, 100%. And I would say that it did not start getting busy there till about maybe 12:30, I would say. So you didn't have to get there super early. When we got there at 11, it wasn't really that busy, so it was easy to get a seat and kind of chill out for a bit. Also, the beach itself is very beautiful, and the water is also very beautiful. It's just cool to have such a nice, real beach and have all that action.
Yeah, the beach itself was a bit smaller. The sand was a little narrow, and it wasn't that long on each side, but that's what you kind of expect when you have a beach and an airport side by side. What I loved the most about it was that it wasn't too packed because we really got an authentic experience, I would say.
That's for sure. One thing to keep in mind is the jet blast can be pretty intense, so just be careful out there.
Yeah, be safe and do not go near the gate. You don't want to hold on to the gate. You don't want to go near the gate. You just want to stay on the sand, on the beach, and experience a good time.
Yes, what she's saying by gate, she means the fence. So there's a fence across the road. Do not go up to that fence, just stay on the beach and enjoy like everybody else responsibly.
Mullet Bay, just minutes away from Maho Beach, was a completely different environment. It's a family-oriented beach, but it's huge with crystal clear waters. It also has umbrellas that you can rent or not. We chose to set up our own, and it has beach bars as well. Another great thing that it has is it does have a washroom on site. You do have to buy a drink from the restaurant, however, but it is convenient that it has washrooms.
Also, one side of the beach did not have a lot of rental chairs on it, which was great because you could set up anywhere you wanted, and that's where you would see a lot of people that weren't renting the beach chairs set up. Another cool thing about it is very family friendly, so you could see all the people enjoying renting chairs and enjoying the water. We even had a few instances with kids just floating up to the front of the beach as we were walking along, which was pretty funny.
The waves were not too bad there. Sometimes, certain days, the wind was a little bit heavier, so the waves would pick up. But I found it pretty manageable to go into the shallow water and still enjoy. The water temperature was great, and I had a good time.
And it was really cool to go from somewhere so action-packed like Maho Beach to somewhere so relaxing like Mullet Bay Beach, so close together.
Yeah.
Quick tip, also make sure to bring cash in US dollars because all the rentals was payable only with cash. Number 2, take a day trip to Anguilla. This was probably the nicest beach we have ever seen.
I would agree with that. And being able to island hop was such a cool vibe. We ended up going to the Marigold terminal, taking a ferry to Anguilla's Blowing Point terminal, and then catching a taxi to Shoal Bay East.
We spent the day at Elodia's beach bar and we had the best pina coladas we have ever had.
Ever.
They were so creamy and so delicious. Also, the food there was amazing. We had a nice barbecue Caribbean style meal on the beach and it was just so flavorful. The vibes were just right. We got to spend the day in paradise exploring the nicest beach we have ever seen.
Ever. And the white sand was just incredible. The beach itself was such an incredible experience. It was the most peaceful experience ever. It was very relaxing and the people around were just great, incredible people, super friendly, and just such a good time. We ended up taking a very long walk on the beach, which, to be honest with you, we felt very safe. We were able to leave even our stuff at the umbrella, so we were able to experience the beach. The walk was incredible. We ended up taking some photos, some videos, and it was such a memorable day.
Yes, it was such a cool experience. It was such a remote experience. It really felt like, yes, we've been to many islands, but it really felt like we're on an island. Just in the middle of nowhere on the shore and the beach, and it was just such a remote, pleasant experience. We actually did a vlog of our experience there, so we will make sure to put our playlist down below so you can actually check that out for yourself.
You need to see it because even our description is not giving it justice, so you need to check out this vlog.
Adding to that, we also have a vlog from Maho Beach and Mullet Bay Beach, so those are all in our playlist, which will be linked down below. One other thing to note is in that Anguilla vlog, we do share the prices and all the logistics in order for you to take your trip over from St. Martin to Anguilla and back. Are you ready? Are you ready? We have finally made it here. Number 1, rent a car. That is the best advice we can give you for you to experience the island at your own pace and to make sure that you get to do a variety of things. The airport pickup was so easy. Starlite brought the car over to the airport, so once we landed, there was a representative waiting for us when we got off our flight, and it was actually pretty convenient. They were tracking our flight because we ended up landing there. Was it early or late?
I think it was early, to be honest. It was early.
Yeah, I think we actually ended up landing there a little bit early, and they had the representative there waiting. We just walked across the street. The car was there waiting for us. The representatives were so helpful, and the car itself was very nice. It was a brand new Toyota Yaris, and booking a car last minute was a little bit of a struggle, but because Starlite had more inventory, they were able to provide us with a high quality, pretty much brand new vehicle, and it was just very nice and easy to do. On the way back, all we had to do is drop the car in that same spot and then hop into the airport. So it was super convenient, and it was a much better value than renting cars from the little airport strip they have over there with all those big brand names. And those big brand names also sometimes don't have the best cars.
Yeah, I would say renting a car made our experience to St. Martin such a different trip. If we didn't rent a car, we would not be able to explore the island. The island is so big, it's huge. So if you think about it, if you took a taxi to the French side, it would be very, very, very expensive. And you just wouldn't be able to have that freedom to one beach hop, go around, drive to Maho Strip or back. The whole experience of renting a car, I would say, made our trip. I was telling Michael while we were there, if we didn't rent a car, I would have regretted it because, again, you cannot walk this island very easily. It's huge. It's also not that accessible. There's not many sidewalks. So even going to Maho Strip, you'd be walking on the street, which I wouldn't recommend. The only thing that I would look out for are the potholes. You gotta drive very safe, and you gotta be very, very vigilant of the potholes so you don't get a flat tire.
100% no speeding in Saint Martin. Just drive accordingly and make sure that you don't hit anything too hard in terms of a pothole. We drove from our Airbnb to Mullet Bay Strip plenty of times during the day. They're back, and it was very convenient to be able to leave at our own pace. When we went at night to go and enjoy some nightlife, we drove there, parked for free, everything was very convenient. We actually were able to explore and head over to Simpsons Bay one night, and it was just cool to have the car with us, and it was very convenient that we didn't have to take any taxis. Renting a car is the #1 thing you can do in Saint Martin if you're trying to have a whole lot of fun and a whole lot of convenience.
And see the whole island, because without having that car, it would be very hard to see the whole island.
For sure. So don't just park yourself on an all-inclusive with no car, because you'll be very limited to what you see and what you experience.
Absolutely.
A couple more tips for you. Book early. That way you will not have any problems securing a vehicle. We booked last minute, so it did pose a little bit of a challenge, but that was okay because we overcame it. Another thing too is if your credit card does have CDW coverage, then decline theirs and save yourself some money there as well. So that's our ultimate guide to Saint Martin. Stay in Cupecoy, explore the French side, experience Maho and Mullet Bay Beach by beach hopping, take a day trip to Anguilla, and rent a car. That's 5 things for you to do.
If you found this video helpful, please hit the like button, as it means a lot to us.
Also, feel free to drop a comment. We would love to hear your comments or questions about anything we said in this video or any experiences you have about Saint Martin.
And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already.
We will be dropping more videos from Saint Martin. We will drop another one exploring Saint Martin at night as well. So if you want to see that, then make sure you are subscribed, like Lee said, and we will see you in the next video. Peace.